And the winner of the princess bracket is Moana!
Just kidding! That's not a princess movie. But we do have a winner at the end of this video, so stay tuned and we'll tell you who won. But first we need to go through the princess bracket and say about exactly what happened. We won't go through every duel because that'll take far too long.
Yeah.
But basically, you can check out in the description below. I will find out some way to leave a link to the pages of our notes of how we scored everything so you can see exactly who made it and why. But the 6 that made it through from the original duels were Frozen, Mulan, Aladdin, Princess and the Frog, Tangled, and Little Mermaid.
So the first thing we need to say is poor Little Mermaid did not stand a chance. It was the only
automatic advance
because it was up against Tangled, and Tangled had more than a 7-point lead on Little Mermaid, so the Little Mermaid got ka-chowed.
Ka-chow.
And Tangled advanced.
Yep. I believe Little Mermaid had a score of like 39 and Tangled had like low 50s, so... Yeah. And I actually gave a boost to Tangled, one of my boosts. I gave it the why because we like you boost, because I really like Tangled.
Yeah. So now we're just going to talk a little bit about each of the other duels, especially because a lot of these were like kind of close and not
really close.
Obvious winners. So the first one was Frozen versus Mulan. And if you watched our last video where we talked about the addendum, in which we talked about like doing the note cards and how if you tie on stuff, you got to convince your really you were not opponents, but whoever you're playing with,
yeah, your teammates.
That your pick is the better pick to advance. And in this duel in particular, Jake and I did a really good job of convincing each other.
Yeah, we went back and forth. We both really like both movies. Both movies are great movies. It was just we kept thinking different things every time. So, yeah. What were the big points that got distributed? What did we agree on?
So in the Frozen versus Mulan duel, we both agreed that Mulan had a bigger audience with, and that Frozen had a better antagonist.
Yes. The only reason Frozen the only reason Frozen lost points was for audience with was because we know that the demographic is normally younger girls, and it doesn't matter who wants to watch Frozen if you like Frozen, but unfortunately all the hype around Frozen was from one specific demographic, and that really brought down, you know, who was watching it. But we agreed that Elsa and Anna were a little bit better and I think a little bit more progressive than Mulan was, so major points there. They both kind of suffered and were kind of hard in antagonist.
Yeah, antagonist was hard because like
the dude, what's the dude's name from
Shan Yu.
Shan Yu. Shang is the good guy.
The guy, yeah.
But Shan Yu is kind of whatever, and Hans is cool, but like he's not a classic yet. So Frozen did advance, and that was that duel. Unfortunately, we went back and forth, but we did come to a consensus eventually.
Yep. So then the next duel after that was Aladdin versus Princess and the Frog.
And I should note that Princess and the Frog did get my hidden gem boost because I don't think that it gets as much of a hype as it should. It's a really great movie, so.
And that's where I'm gonna just throw out there that the only boost I used in this bracket was the nostalgia boost for Beauty and the Beast. Unfortunately, Beauty and the Beast did not advance past the first round, but I gave it the nostalgia boost anyway because it was one of my favorites when I was growing up.
And that just shows that you don't have to give out all your boosts. I gave out 2, Gabby gave out 1. You don't have to give them all out. You can give them all out. It does not matter. And it also isn't used to just send something along because Beauty and the Beast had no chance. I don't think so anyways.
No. And this is also a good time to mention that we know that our system is working because some of our favorite movies didn't even advance past the first round. So the system that we're using for ranking these Disney movies and the points is really pushing through. It is. It's science.
It's science.
So anyway, Aladdin versus Princess and the Frog was a much easier duel.
It was pretty one-sided. We both like Aladdin, but Princess and the Frog has more to offer in terms of villain. We think that Faciliate's better than Jafar. The only thing that lost a few points was Naveen in Princess and the Frog was kind of a hard protagonist. Tiana's great, but we both kind of agreed on Naveen. Yeah. That's kind of meh.
Aladdin and Jasmine, I think, are much more on even keel with one another than Tiana and Naveen, but Princess and the Frog has so many other things going for it that it wasn't enough for Aladdin to pull ahead.
Well, and it was really hard, I think, for music too, because they were on an even playing field there with classic Aladdin music and the newer Princess and the Frog music, but in every other way, you know, Princess and the Frog basically took Aladdin. So Princess and the Frog did move on in that case. That brought us to Frozen and Frog.
Yes.
The double Fs.
Which was another one that Princess and the Frog just totally swept.
I was really pushing for Frozen. I was like, Gabby, Frozen's gonna make it to the finals. And she was like, no, it's not. I was like, just you wait. No, unfortunately, Princess and the Frog is the better Disney movie than Frozen. But Frozen didn't go shutout. It did get points, and it looks like message and protagonist because of Naveen.
Yeah, Naveen really bringing things down on the frog side of the equation.
Yeah, but yes, Princess and the Frog moved on yet again.
So that brings us to the finals, which was Princess and the Frog versus A Tangled.
Which are both amazing movies, and you should totally watch both of them. But we did have to pick a winner, and I think that one was fairly back and forth, wasn't it?
That one was not as much of a clean sweep. And one thing I do want to say too is like, Princess and the Frog was kind of a dark horse for us.
Yes.
Like, I grew up. I'm 5 years older than Jake, so like the earlier princess movies or like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, like that era of Disney is like what I grew up on. And so that's like what I think of when I think of the princess movies. And like, yes, I've seen Frozen, I've seen Tangled, but like Princess and the Frog kind of falls in the middle, and so it was kind of an unknown for me.
It's one of the newer ones, yeah.
Right, so it was, when we saw it and we scored it, we were like, this might go all the way to the finals.
Yeah, and it did.
But prior to seeing it, it was like not on our radar to be a finalist in this bracket at all.
And after watching Princess and the Frog, I did make a bold statement, and that bold statement was that Princess and the Frog and Tangled are gonna make it to the end. So I just wanted to put that out there.
So here I think we should because we're talking about the finals.
Yes,
let's do a
talk
blow
about
by blow. So message unanimously went to Princess and the Frog, and this is where one of the weaknesses we think of Tangled is like, what is the message of Tangled?
It's a positive message, but it's really hard to bring all of that stuff and, formulate it into a bite-sized message for, kids to understand. And even I was like, I know this is positive and I'm learning good things, but what am I learning?
Yeah.
Right? So, unfortunately, that went to Princess and the Frog. And then what is next? Audience With. Audience With was a split for us. I don't exactly remember who split it either way, but that just shows that both of these movies...
Actually, we both, at least according to what I wrote down, both went with Tangled.
Oh, I lied. I'm looking at music. Never mind. Okay, I lied. Audience With goes to Tangled, and I know why this is, because unfortunately Princess and the Frog has the word princess in the name,
title.
And some people are less likely to watch princess movies for that reason.
Yeah.
Tangled could be anything, and it's a more classic story than Princess and the Frog. You could argue that Kissing a Frog is pretty classic, though.
Yeah, music, like Jake just said, was a split vote. I actually don't remember who picked what the other night when we
They're both
scored
great.
this. But that was a hard one.
It was really hard,
It required a long think before we even, revealed our answers, and...
It could have gone, either way, and I still can't pick between the two. I think they're great.
Yeah.
But Protagonist, right? Protagonist is next. And this time I've got it correct. 2 points did go to Tangled. Because Naveen, man, Naveen, what are you doing? I mean, he's okay. In terms of a prince, he's not
way better than either of the Charmings.
Yeah, I mean, but
compared to Flynn Rider, who has his own story arc.
Own following. You can see him grow a lot more than Naveen. I mean, both grow in their own way, but I think Flynn Rider's you connect with. You don't see people walking around with their lanyards and they're, oh, look at my Prince Naveen pin. They're like, no, look at my Flynn Rider pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did go to Tangled. So currently a 3-3 tie going into Antagonist.
Which definitely went to Dr. Facilier. Because, again, Mother Gothel... Okay, I love Mother Knows Best. I think Mother Knows Best is a great song. But we're not just scoring on that. Mother Gothel, in my opinion, just doesn't have a lot going on.
No, her reasons for being a villain are basic. I want to be young again, and so I'm gonna kidnap this girl. And how am I gonna do it? I'm literally just gonna kidnap her. It's Dr. Facilier, you said it best. With the song "Friends on the Other Side," he's got deals that he made.
Yeah.
And he's got an actual stake in this. And if he doesn't do what the friends on the other side want him to do, that's gonna be bad for him. So he's actually got a bit of a stake in it too. And I also think Friends on the Other Side is one of the best.
It's a pretty great song. So that meant that we were still at 5-5, and at that point it came down to sidekicks, or if we tied on sidekicks, if we had split votes, we were gonna have to go back and argue about it, which didn't happen because Princess and the Frog swept in the sidekicks category. Which is unfortunate because Maximus and Pascal are
great
awesome
characters, and they actually, if I remember correctly, I believe they both got 5s in their sidekick.
They did.
Unfortunately, in my opinion, Maximus is really pulling for the Tangled side, and you've got Ray, you've got Lewis, you've got am I missing somebody? Who am I missing?
Ray and Lewis are like the big ones. But Mama Odie,
but like you've got 2 big ones that are pulling for Princess and the Frog, and just kind of, Pascal's just kind of cute and kind of there.
Yeah.
So, yes, the bestest princess movie ever, Princess and the Frog. I know, surprising, but that's what it is. And I believe we're going to leave all of the scores, like I said, in the description. And
we're gonna post the leaderboard so you can see. Well, we're gonna scan in our sheets so you can see the breakdown of like how these each
where
scored.
The points went.
And then also we'll share our leaderboard so you can see just what it looks like in leaderboard form.
And once you see the leaderboards and the points, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section asking us why we gave it what we gave it. We will attempt to remember it, but like we can definitely answer why we gave that, because I tended to give very, very low scores in a lot of cases. So
and that'll be interesting too, to see where Jake sometimes did outscore me and why. I also want to mention that another thing we've decided to do is we're gonna also add a silver bracket and a poop bracket. So what that means is Tangled is not done. Tangled gets to go on and compete in the silver bracket, which we realized like technically isn't like the second bestest Disney movie ever, because like whoever places second in like the finals bracket, but like we thought it would be fun anyway to do a silver bracket, and the poop bracket is self-explanatory. So all of the lowest scoring movies out of every bracket are going to go onto the poop bracket.
And they're going to compete, and whichever gets the higher score doesn't move on, because the lower score is going to move on until you have the worstest Disney movie ever. And I think we should say what made it to the poop bracket.
Can we have a drum roll?
I'll edit something in maybe. Sleeping Beauty!
But I feel it's important to mention that or rather, Snow White eked out of not being in the poop bracket by one point. Not really sure how you want to say that, but
now you know, and keep pulling for in the next bracket again what you think is going to happen. In the next bracket, we're trying to go for most of the animated animal protagonist bracket, but we're going to be going duel by duel. So check our social and see what what's coming up, and make sure to watch along. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.